Hey, hi. I'm here in front of the fire in my toasty reflecting shelter. It's, I don't know, the 4th of December or something like that. And I wanted to just show you what I'm working on. I'm outside of chopping firewood. I had this one little piece of, I think, apple wood. And I sawed it off halfway. And I wanted to make something with it. And so that's what I started with. And last night I removed sides to make a kind of a rectangular prism kind of thing. It's not quite finished. I want it to be a little straighter. But I got into my mind I maybe wanted to try a ball in a cage. It's kind of a challenge for somebody who hasn't whittled anything since, I don't know, the 70s. And apple wood's kind of a hard wood. And the knife I'm working with isn't a real carving knife, but Leatherman Crater, which is, it's a really nice utility knife. Let's see if I can refish it out of my pocket for you. It's kind of a nice utility knife. It's good for survival situations, but, you know, if you're going to be carving, the surface you want to use is there. So the leverage is weird and you're doing your carving out here. But that's what I have. And this is what the piece looks like so far. And later on, if I remember, I will give you, I'll give you more pictures. So that's my story. I'll talk to you later. Hey, so sun's just up. It's 5th of December. And it's a very beautiful morning here at camp. But I was taking advantage of some early morning light to work on my carving, and I really like the way it's going down into the hole here. I've never done anything like this, so it's an adventure for me, but I keep feeling that this corner ought to be breaking through really soon, but it hasn't yet. So I'm going to keep working on that, and I'll keep you posted. All right, well, it's a couple minutes later, and right there is my little breakthrough, that tiny little hole. You can see the sun come through. And I'm so excited about that, I can't hardly stand up. But I'm going to have to and chop some firewood. Because it's, even though it's warm now, and by warm I mean it's above 30 degrees, later on it's going to be cold and I'll wish I had a toasty fire. But that's my breakthrough. And I'm excited about that. And that's, I think I said it's my first ever kind of carving like this. So it's really exciting to feel some kind of success. So that's it for me for now. So today is, I don't know, I think it's Sunday. I think that makes it the 6th or something. Anyway, it's one more day after I showed you this last. And I think last time I showed you any of this, I just had my first breakthrough. And I got it all, my frames free on the top here. And I'm working on removing this material in here. And because it's a slow job, I've started out cleaning out these panels here. And we'll see how it goes. So I'm learning. Of course, I couldn't start with something easy like a piece of pine or basswood or something. I got to go right into a found piece of apple. Oh, man, this stuff is hard. On the other hand, while I'm working it, I don't have to worry I'm going to squeeze too hard and break it. So anyway, it's just after lunch, and it's been foggy all day and raining under the trees because the frost we got last night is starting to melt, and the condensation of the fog on the trees is dripping down. So here under the trees it's raining, but out on the res it's just foggy. Maybe I'll come out under my shelter and show you that. So that's what it looks like. All them cars over there in the parking lot, that's Bob and his paddleboard friends. Not much of a view today. Alright, well, it's time for the daily update. Today is the 7th of December. And you can see I've got this pretty much shaped and a lot of it removed. And I'm working on carving out these 4 panes. I haven't started the top one yet, because that's going to be a son of a gun. And I'm working on keeping kind of a level shape up here to make it easier to cut the ball later. There's still a lot of work to be done, but I'm pretty pleased at how this is going so far. So I'll give you another update tomorrow. So here's progress on today's project. It's the 8th of December, and you can see I've done a good deal of remove work, and I made good progress on these panels, and I'm kind of getting ready to make the ball, which is exciting for me. Camp is struck, and the fire is nearly out. I'm about to take down the orange flag, and it's going to be an easy paddle across because no wind. And sure, fine, now the sun is coming out, and now it's getting warm. It's been cold going this morning. Anyway, so that's the project, and talk to you later. Alright, so I forgot to take pictures yesterday when I got done work. Clearly I'm indoors, and my living room looks slightly like I have had a camping store explode in it, bringing my gear in from the res and everything. But this is the work as it looks this morning, and I've made good progress here. And I'm trying to keep this round so that when I get down to the ball, because I've never done this before and I don't know exactly where the ball's going to need to be. So I'm working on that. But I'm about to break through here and here, and I'm excited about that, and I've made some good progress there. So I'm going to work on that a little bit today, and later on I'll show you how it goes. So here's today's update. This is yesterday's work. I haven't started today. I've made a lot of progress in the removal here and coming down to where the ball is going to start. And I have breakthrough now on this part. So I'm really moving along. And soon it's going to be time to start shaping that ball. And I'm excited to find out how that goes. I'll let you know. So here's what the work looks like after yesterday's work. I have to clear out the end of this frame because it is much narrower than it is on the other end. The ball's starting to take shape, although it's got to be much smaller. But I don't know if you can see in here, it's actually getting to the point where it is about halfway to being free. So as I pare that down, it's going to be free rolling, and I'm going to have to be careful of the shape because I want to be able to have it run in the track. So that's my progress. And of course my living room still looks a lot like somebody dumped a lot of camping gear. I'm wiping the dirt off of things and letting them dry and then stowing them, and it's going to be a while before it starts to look like a camping store didn't throw up in here. All right, I'll show you what I've got later. So it's probably December 14th, and this is what the work looks like today. I've removed a great deal of material in through here, and the ball looks nice and round, although it's going to have to get smaller. And you can see here it's just about broken through on most of the sides. So I'm really excited to see what that looks like when it does. And it clearly needs more taken off the ends to make it truly round. But that's going to be exciting. So here's what the work looks like today, one day later. I've almost freed the ball. So that's nice. It's kind of exciting. I tried to keep working last night until I had the ball free, but I just couldn't do it. But bit by bit, I'm getting it out. I'm thinning the rails a little bit as I go to even them up, make them the same all around. And that is probably going to come loose today, and that's very exciting. So we'll check in tomorrow. So here it is. The ball moves freely now, but it doesn't have full rotation because it's got some spots that need to be fixed. But it's really very satisfying like this. And so I'm just going to have to trim it up a little bit and make it rounder and smoother, and it'll be beautiful. Kind of fun. Let me get it. Isn't that cool? Alright, so after a number of days of fine-tuning this, I have it so the ball is free and it rolls free. It's not as smooth and beautiful as it had done if I'd, measured and used a template, but I'm pretty pleased with it for, eyeballing it, and I used a Leatherman crater to carve it. So now I'm just going to clean up the outside a little bit because there's a couple little places of wear and tear from the knife handle here. I'm just going to clean up the outside, and then when I get that cleaned up, I'm going to sand the outside of it, and I'm going to oil it with butcher block oil, put a finish on it, and then I'll call it done. So I'm kind of excited about that. That's my first carving piece, and I really like the way it's turned out. So here is the finished piece. I've got it all cleaned up and smoothed on the outside. I sanded it down a little just on the outside. I left knife marks on the inner surfaces, and I put a nice food grade oil wax sealant, beeswax and mineral oil mostly, on it. So it feels real pretty, and the treatment brings out the grain of the wood, which is real pretty. And so that's my first carving project. And I did it, that's my dump of stuff I'm working with, haven't put away yet. I did it all with my Leatherman crater, which you can see isn't much of a carving knife. But it did the job. So I'm kind of excited about that.